Welcome back, SuicideFantasyFootball.com, helping you fix the mistakes you made at your draft. Oops, I can't believe I drafted you-know-who. So we're going to tell you, maybe if you screwed up, maybe you picked two people that have the same bye weeks, you need to drop someone and add someone. We're going to tell you some of the people that might not have been drafted, but you need to consider if you got to add someone to your lineup.
A little diamond in the rough action going on.
I'd more call it a turd in the toilet, Jim.
There you go.
This isn't really the diamonds.
Come on.
Come on, if anything, it's cubic zirconia in the rough.
Okay, I'll take that.
All right, so go ahead, Jim. Give him first. Your running back, you would have people pick up if they needed to add someone.
Well, we didn't write him down, but I really think that Roy Halou is going to be the running back in Washington.
He's getting drafted in most drafts, Jim. I haven't
seen of them. I saw a lot of them where he was undrafted. A lot of them were taking Royster. Now that Hightower's gone, you know...
Hightower's not going, dude. They're bringing him back.
Yeah.
He's clearing waivers. They're bringing him back.
It doesn't matter. Roy Halou, by week 2, will be the feature back in Washington. So... if he's available, pick him up. If he got drafted late, you might want to make a move for him. I do also like Alfred Morris. I do like the other guy they have. I don't like Tim Hightower.
I don't like Tim Hightower. I don't like Evan Royster, Jim. But I think you're wrong. Halou having two bad Achilles, like two bad wheels as a running back, just ain't the way you want to start a season. So I'm saying go the other one. Alfred Morris. If you got to add someone... Shanahan loves him, and I know it's the shenanigans. You never know what's going to happen come week 2. But he loves him going into the season. So I'm saying if you need to add a guy, that's the guy you should make it be. Also, Robert Turbin. He's a guy that got drafted in a decent amount of leagues, but he's available still in about 45% of leagues out there, 12-person snake leagues. So I'm telling you.
Tell him his name.
Robert Turbo Turbin. The Turbinator. I do love the Turbinator. I don't know if that's a real name or we just made it up, but the Turbinator is awesome. So love Turbo Turbin. Now at quarterback, Jim, you love Matt Castle.
I love Matt Castle because I think before he got hurt last year, he was in that 15, 16 range of quarterbacks. Now people have him outside the top 24. They got names like Ryan Fitzpatrick ahead of him. I saw Joe Flacco ahead of him. I saw a bunch of guys, and there's just no way. Matt Castle's going to throw. He's got Baldwin. He's got Breston. He's got Dwayne Bowe. He's got Moyaki coming back, and I think Hillis and Charles open up the field. Their running is going to let the passing happen.
Jim, I don't disagree with you. I think Matt Castle is going to put up decent numbers this year. Do like him over both the guys you named. Fitzpatrick, which a lot of people are picking Fitzpatrick over Ryan.
And Carson Palmer, too. I saw Carson Palmer getting picked ahead of Matt Castle.
I like Matt Castle over Carson Palmer, too.
Ridiculous.
All right, I'm also going to add in Russell Wilson, Jim. I know... you think he's going to be out of there by week 4, but I'm telling you, if you need a backup quarterback, why not put a winner on your bench? And Russell Wilson, Jim, you can say what you got to say about him, but Russell Wilson is a winner.
Yeah.
And also Jake Locker.
Did they win the national championship?
No, but he wins a lot, Jim. He won in NC State and he won in Wisconsin, and now he's proving to Pete Carroll that he's going to be a winner in the NFL.
So did Gino Torretta, so did Tim Tebow, so did Eric Crouch, so did... who was the dude that was at Florida
Jim, Russell
before?
Wilson is nothing like any of those guys.
Yes, he is. He's 5'10", and he can't see
so
over
what? He's
6'5" guys.
Listen, the guys you named were drop-back quarterbacks.
Give me the list of 5'10" quarterbacks who won a Super Bowl.
Drew Brees.
Okay.
There you go. There just has to be one to prove that it can happen, Jim.
No, that's an anomaly. You see yourself.
Well, you just named a bunch of bust quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Name one of them that's 5'10" who's a bust.
Well,
you can add Chase Daniels, but he hasn't even played yet.
The kid from Florida that was before Tebow wasn't tall. Chris Leak or whatever his name was like 6 foot tall.
Come on,
Tim
dude,
Tebow
you never even made it in the NFL.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're just not out there. You can win in college and not win in the pros.
But he's already proven he can do it in the NFL
against fourth stringers. Grocery baggers.
No, he started and still did well.
He started week 4 when they had grocery baggers.
Started week 3.
Grocery baggers.
Started week 3.
You'll see.
I will see. You know what, Jim? Then tell people, maybe what you should tell them is then, because Matt Flynn didn't get drafted in any drafts. So maybe that's the guy you're thinking that they should.
No, because they can't draft Matt Flynn. Because you need somebody who's actually playing right now. But Matt Flynn would be number 1 on my transaction list because by week 4 he's going to be playing.
All right, wide receiver, Jim. Who do you like at wide receiver for someone they can add?
Your guy. Oh, my guy, Braylon Edwards. From the team that Russell Wilson's throwing into. But I just think he's in for the comeback. I knew T.O. wasn't going to make it there. I don't know about Randy Moss. I think he's going to have a big year. But the name that you're hearing, the ancient guys that didn't play, the guys that dropped off.
I was going to say Sidney Rice is really the guy who I'm going.
Nah.
I like Rice over Edwards.
All the guys that were popular 4 years ago and 5 years ago in fantasy football that kind of dipped out of it. I think Braylon Edwards has a comeback year. I think he's going to prove that he is maybe not an elite wide receiver, but definitely a viable wide receiver in fantasy football.
All right, and I'm going to add in the guy opposite Reggie Wayne in Indianapolis. I think by the end, it's going to end up being T.Y. Hilton. I thought it was going to be Donnie Avery. It doesn't look like it's going to be. It looks like T.Y. is a young guy. Luck's really doing well with him in preseason. And I could see him being a guy who takes over Austin Colley's role and is a good producing receiver. I'm not going to No.
Oh, you mean he doesn't get the concussions all the time?
No, he doesn't get concussions all the time, but he puts up decent number 2 wide receiver numbers, and we know Indianapolis is going to be throwing the ball a ton.
Yep.
So if you can put a young guy who's got upside on your roster with Luck throwing him the ball, I think you'll be successful. All right, last one's tight end.
Tight end, everybody loves Jacob Tamme, and I think there's going to be some frequency, some relativity with Manning and Tamme from before, but I think by week 4 or 5, Joel Dreesen's going to wrestle that starting job away from him. He's going to be the number 1 target. When Dreesen got a shot in Houston a couple years ago with Owen Daniels getting hurt all the time, he looked like a stud. Last year, not so much because Andre Johnson wasn't there and all they were trying to do was run the ball and win. But
I know when Daniels came back healthy, too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when Dreesen got a shot, I think he's going to go, and I think Manning's going to wind up favoring him over Jacob.
Jim, I hate to agree with you, but I have to there. And you've seen Tamme already drop definite touchdowns in the preseason. Manning's not going to put up with that. I know he likes having the old familiar faces of Tamme and Stokely around, but I'm with Jim. I think Dreesen is a better tight end than Tamme, and I agree that by week 6, week 7, I think Dreesen's the starter. Guy I'm going with, Jim, you mentioned his name already, Tony Moeaki. He was a stud, and he got hurt, but he's come back and looked healthy in the preseason, and if you need a backup tight end, why not have it be someone who's definitely starting, definitely going to at least get some targets in Kansas City? I like Moeaki. I also love Kellen Davis. I'm surprised Kellen Davis for the Bears isn't getting drafted more, Jim. What is it? What do you think? Think people just don't believe that the Bears tight end can contribute?
Well, they had Greg Olsen there for so long, and they think Greg Olsen's a better athlete than Kellen Davis, which he probably is.
He probably is.
So, if Greg Olsen couldn't do it in Chicago...
Yeah, that was a different offensive coordinator, different quarterback. I believe that Kellen Davis...
What tight end has Jay Cutler ever really made into a household name?
You're right about that. That's
another thing. You know, he's had some decent tight ends, not great decent, but he doesn't throw the tight end.
Listen, I don't disagree with that either, but that's why I'm saying as a starter, as a backup, as a guy who's going to be on your bench anyway, he's a guy who's got some upside. Couldn't you see Cutler really needing to rely on a tight end a decent amount? I know they got Alshon Jeffrey as their second receiver, Earl Bennett, Devin Hester. But that's what I'm saying is the dump offs to Matt Forte, I also think will be some dump offs to Kellen Davis. So I'm taking Moeaki over him.
If only Tony Moeaki could do the coconut break like Alfred Papuno used to do when he made the touchdowns, that would be awesome.
Why's it got to be a Hawaiian thing, Jim?
Because isn't he Hawaiian? I think he is.
He's from that island.
He's from that.
From the island.
That's Papuno, baby. Ooh, drink the coconut.
It is impressive, dude, that there's an island that has like 5,000 people on it, and like 20 of them.
Tight ends.
20 of them have made it to the NFL, and in the United States, we've got like billions of people, and there's a 1 in 10 million chance you're going to make it.
There you go.
Pretty cool. All right, so that's what we think you need to do if you need to add someone late. You made a mistake, fix it before the season starts. If you have opinions or questions for us, Jim at SuicideFantasySports.com, Eric at SuicideFantasySports.com. Subscribe to all of our videos below. We're going to keep you updated throughout the year, so you only have to go to one place to get all your information. And check us out Monday night, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, Blog Talk Radio. It's Fantasy Football Overload. Tell them. Running out of time.
Play the game. Play the game.
SuicideFantasyFootball.com. 3FOR99. 3 leagues. Save $51. Get 3 chances to win a Super Bowl trip for $99.